Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Charlie.
Just want to give everybody a quick update on where everything stands on the downtown project as of yesterday. So this last week, we were able to get pavers down on Ashland between First and Howard Street. Storm sewer work was wrapped up on Ashland between Buxton and B Street. They worked on the installation of the rock chambers on the mid block there between Howard and Buxton and actually finished those on Monday. Thankfully, most of it was finished right before the rain came in, but they worked through the rain to get all of that done, and do appreciate that. With that, we'll have a little bit more news moving forward on that block. And then lastly, the yard hydrants at the intersection of Ashland and Buxton were complete, which are the last intersection of yard hydrants we need to put in. So that's good having those done. This week, we're working on removing and replacing sidewalks on Ashland between First and Howard. We have provided notices to all the businesses that will be impacted by that. They've started mostly on the south side there, kind of getting some of that worked out, and moving to the north side actually this morning, I know, to start some of that. There's water main installation on Ashland between B Street and Buxton, including the intersection of B Street and Ashland. That is getting wrapped up hopefully this week. They unfortunately had to skip yesterday just because of the rain that came in and the dampness of the dirt, but hopefully back in there again this morning, getting that one finished up. And then lastly, it sounds like on Friday, for those of you who are on that mid block, it sounds like mainline paving of that block is going to take place on Friday. So, you know, I know everybody, and I just always have to throw caution out there when they see that paving start, everybody thinks that everything's about to wrap up. But the sidewalk construction is really where a majority of our time is on this project. I think getting to mainline paving within a month of having the street closed is really, really good. But again, just have some patience with us because we're still a bit off on having everything finished, especially on those blocks where the sidewalks take just a little bit more work. So then again, looking forward to next week, they should be able to move down to that last block of Ashland between Buxton and B and get the rock chambers and subdrains all put in. If they get paving done on Friday, they should most likely be able to move to the installation of curb and gutter on Ashland on the mid block there. And then we did get notice that the subcontractor who's in charge of the pavers is going to move into some of the previous phases and do a few of the repairs that we have on our punch list currently on the pavers. That just includes a little bit of a filling in of the edges where there's more of a gap than we had wanted on that. And then there's just, if you walk through all the pavers that we have out there, there's just about a half a dozen of them that have been cracked with the construction. So those are going to be replaced as well. Then last thing, again, looking forward to the future past next week, we noted that road paving is going to begin hopefully this Friday on that mid block, and then eventually we'll move to the last block and the intersection of Buxton and Ashland and getting that one done. With that, curbs, pavers, and all of that stuff will go in once the road paving is done. And then we will continue to work on sidewalks on the other blocks once we finish up this first block here, which hopefully should be in the next couple of weeks. Lastly, we're getting closer to fall. Unfortunately, maybe some people like that. I'm more of a summer person, but which means some of the planting and seeding windows are going to open up for us. So in the just with normal construction, there's a time period in the middle of summer where it is not advantageous to put grass seed down, plant any plants, plant any trees, just because of how dry it gets in the summer. Once we get towards the fall and temperatures cool off a little bit, those windows open up. So I think with that, what we'll see is some reseeding of the area just kind of close to the street around the Justice Center, where our crew has actually caused some damage to that area. So getting that grass reestablished. But with that as well, we could start seeing trees and plants in all phases going in. I know trees were mostly finished on phase one. There was one tree pit that we didn't get finished that needs to get done just because the tree that was ordered was not in good condition. So we'll get that wrapped up, and then all of the chambers, the rain gardens and all of the other gardens in phase one, though the plantings on those have not been 100% complete, so those will be finished up. And then the first phase that was done this year on Salem and Howard, we need to get all the plants in on those ones as well as trees, and then as we're moving along, get that done on these other phases as well. So still making some pretty good progress. I think we're still on schedule. Hopefully we're supposed to get some more rain the end of this week, so we're kind of hopeful that doesn't really hinder too much of the project. Thankfully, it'll be mostly this weekend, it looks like, which will be good. The last thing I will say, and I know there's been a few people on the Ashland side that have been affected by the several utility disruptions that we've had just due to line breaks between the gas line and a few water services. And, I just want to continue to apologize for that. And I know the contractor is really upset that it keeps happening with their crew, and they're addressing that. And we assured that yesterday that those items are getting addressed and that they're taking a little bit more careful precautions with them. And then we're also working with the utilities that are responsible for those lines and working on a solution to possibly get those lowered as well, because the issue we're dealing with, especially with the gas line, is it's sitting pretty high right now, and it does need to get lowered. So just working with Mid-American on that to get that issue resolved, which hopefully will be done sometime here in the next week. So with that, I am happy to answer any questions if anybody has them. Otherwise, as usual, feel free to reach out to us whenever there's any concerns.
Let's see, I'm looking at chat to see if there's anything there. Does not look like it. Anybody have questions or comments? Quiet group.
Good enough. Well, again, if anybody has them throughout the week, feel free to reach out to me, the construction crew. Brenda can answer them as well, but happy to answer them anytime, and we'll hopefully see everybody next week.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.